You sneaky. You're running as an outsider.
I am an outsider.
Is this true? Yes, it's true. This man has no dick.
Come on. Come on. Really?
Do you smoke crack cocaine?
Exactly.
Let's give the people what they came for.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Mr. Prime Minister, will there always be a Canada?
There will always be a Canada.
All right, elbows out.
Elbows up.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Ready? Are you ready? Get them out of here! Get them out of here! Get the hell out of here!
Enough with the woke shit.
So the answer to that is to stop being stupid.
I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Get your special sock out, nerds. It's gonna get good.
Is the federal government stealing from us? Are they sabotaging our industry? Are they taking us down the path to communism? Are they censoring us? Are they stealing our guns from us? Come on, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Welcome to Unhinged Fringe, where for once, we're not skipping over the Starlinks because Matt is in the studio. It's good to have you here. Welcome in.
It's awesome. I almost dropped our first F-bomb already.
Yeah, there you go. I
gotta limit myself.
Nobody forgets their first time, and Matt's virgin voyage in the studio is set upon us, folks. It's going to be a crazy show tonight. We got a lot to talk about.
It never stops.
It doesn't stop.
Like, could we have 1 week where we could be like, we might run out of things to talk about early instead of having 40 things queued up and only getting to 10 of them because the world is so fucking insane?
It's like Mr. Incredible. I just cleaned up this place. Can we not keep it clean for 5 minutes? Here we go, folks. There we go. Carson, $2 super chat. Thank you, Carson. Free memberships at 750 likes. People are watching the hockey tonight and stuff, folks, so hit those thumbs up. Let's get some people in here. Hit the like buttons. Not only the 750 likes. If we get the free memberships and the 750 likes, we're giving away one of the calendars that curse. Mark Carney fingers up calendars that I did in conjunction with them. It's going to be it is a great calendar. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be a great 2026. Ringing in. Making fun of Mark Carney all the time. Raptor guy with the $5 super chat right out of the gates. How do you feel about Bonnie Critchley joining the Alberta Party? For me, it inspired an Elton John song parody. The Critch is back. Angry lesbians shouldn't run for any parties. That's the way I see it. Thank you for the super chat. Let's get a good old-fashioned roll call going on, folks. Let's get a roll call going. We got to talk about Danielle. We got to talk about a lot of crazy things going on in Canada. Mark Carney making it easier for those who want to leave and be an independent Alberta happen. It's going to happen, folks. Let's see how many people we can get in the roll call. And then we're getting on with the stream. It's Mike coming in from Calgary. We got Mystical joining us from Ohio. We got Badass Custom Coatings coming in from Cochrane. We got Toten coming in once again from Arizona. Luca's joining us from Burnaby, BC. It looks like Mrs. Fringe is in the chat. Shout out to her. Nicole coming in from
upstairs.
London, Ontario. We've got Raptor guy coming in from Scarberia. Welcome in. Bradley Wilcox from Edmonton. Welcome in. We got Rob coming in from Red Deer as well. What else do we have? What else we got? The Truth coming in from Edmonton in the house. Westless Snipes coming in from Lethbridge. Joker MP coming in from Woke Toronto. That's okay. We'll forgive you this time. Carol and Gerald are coming in once again from Calgary. Mystical still stuck on my roof. Stay there. I didn't say you could leave. You're staying there for a long time, okay? Millions and millions of people will drive by the house and see you on the roof. Mystical's now a Christmas decoration.
I hope there's not millions of people driving by your house.
Not anymore. Not since the police have been here so much. But hey, let's go. KD coming in from Ontario. Great to have you. Mike Freedom Honey joining us once again from Beaver County. Shout out to Mike Freedom Honey. His wife, Sherry, does calendars that curse. Fantastic. We're going to get Mike on the show. I want to get Mike on the show. I don't know if you've noticed this glorious sign behind me, but Mike painstakingly made that sign along with one of his veteran friends for the studio, free of charge, because he loves the Fringe so much. He's got his own podcast. Go and check him out on X under the Freedom Honey podcast. Thank you to Mike for that. Let's get him on the show soon. Wandering Civvy coming in with Aaron from Red Deer. Welcome in. It's good to see you. Mrs. Fringe, never heard of her. She's somewhere in here.
Bring us a lollipop.
Get a lollipop. Make it feel better. It'll be wonderful. We got Mimo coming in from New Brunswick. We got Rex Maddox coming in from Arkansas, or as Mrs. Fringe calls it, Arkansas. I love Arkansas. It's a wonderful state. Welcome in. We got to. Oh, Phoebe wants the Trump dance. We got to do a little bit of the Trump dance. We got to get going on. We just can't play the village people. But hey, welcome. Monica's coming in from Nova Scotia. We've got Kalatu coming in from Kalispell. We got Delphine coming in from Fort Mac. Butt Fluff. I love when Butt Fluff chimes in. I love that name. Coming in
Butt Fluff.
From Strathmore. David Brewer's coming in from. Oh, David's coming in from Springfield. Welcome in. It's good to have you in here. We've got Elise Neely coming in from Airdrie as well. Mesa, YYC. Oh, that's Calgary. Coming in from Calgary. Jesse from Fort Mac. The Truth from Edmonton. We got Chris coming in from Airdrie. Joe Bob coming in from the wonderful state of Oregon. We love Oregon, even if they don't vote Republican all the time, but we love them.
Even if it's Antifa Communist Central.
Antifa Communist Central. It's okay, they got to go somewhere, but we love Oregon anyways. Welcome in. Mark's coming in from Grand Prairie, Alberta. Folks, I got to get caught up in the chat. Look at you guys all chiming in. Look at you chiming in. We've almost
from everywhere.
And we've almost raised the viewers by 100. Again, folks, hit those likes. It's free right below the video, the old like button, the thumbs up. Hit that down below. 750. Carson's giving away free memberships, and we're going to give away a free calendar from Calendars of Curse. $20 value heading out to one lucky viewer tonight, folks.
Only one.
Only one. Let's get it started. Let's get the stream started.
What are we starting with out of all of this freaking nonsense?
We got a lot to cover tonight, folks. And I know we usually don't do memes, but I'm going to do one. I'm going to do one because I seen this just before the stream started, and I got to be honest. I got to be honest. I thought it was wonderful. I thought it was great. We're going to talk about it. This one here. Young Canadians will be paying off Carney's debt for the rest of their lives. I agree. Let's zoom this out just a little bit. And he's only been around less than a year. Here we go. Canadians who aren't boomer liberals. I love that they said boomer liberals in here. But here we go, folks. Take a look at this one. Good old Canada Proud posted this.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
I mean,
we all know what it is.
We all know what it is, but Mark's budget. I mean, look, tonight, folks, the title of the stream says that Mark Carney has boosted Alberta Independence. He has, and he is. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the video I put out talking about Danielle Smith and why she's doing what she's doing. So for anybody who's a little on edge about what Danielle's been talking about, if you missed that video, if you wanted to chime in on that video in this stream, I know a lot of people chimed in and said that they liked that video because it gave them a little more confidence in what's going on. I know Alberta Proud came out with it as well and said there's a lot of points in here being made, a lot of good points. We're going to discuss it tonight. Stick with me here. Stephen Nizek. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. $10 super chat. I was listening to Donna McPhrisby's 17 million F off song about Brexit, and he name dropped Mark Carney, and I realized that Carney really loves being a party pooper of the British Commonwealth.
He's making his rounds.
He is. He destroyed the Commonwealth. Pseudonym coming on a $2 super chat. Cheers to the Fringe ladies upstairs. Yes, they're hanging out upstairs.
They're dealing with the demon children.
This Friday's going to be a weird show. Matt's still going to be in the studio. He's still going to be hanging out. He leaves Saturday. Mrs. Fringe taking a little time off to go visit her mother with the kids. So it's going to be, with one of the kids. So it's going to be Matt, myself, and Lori in studio Friday night. No Mrs. Fringe. So it's going to be an interesting show because she's not going to be here to
reverse thrupplecast.
She's not going to be slapping me around, telling me to stay in line and when to do things. So you guys are in for a treat. If you don't want to come on Friday, I have some bad advice for you.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm going to come.
Oh, I'm going to come. Come on Friday. Come on out on Friday. It's going to be great. Patrick, oh, good. Lori returns. Guys, keep it classy. Come on.
Don't be thirsty.
Look at the boys are getting thirsty already.
I've watched that video. I don't even know how many times in the last 2 weeks and quoted it and used it. It's never not funny. I will never stop laughing at it.
Greg says, do Friday with PJ the Belt. No, Wednesdays would be better for guests. Matt and I are going to handle guests. Fridays are for having fun. We have a little bit more of a laid-back kind of fun time. I was on PJ the Belt this last weekend. If you guys want to go check that out. But I definitely want to do something with PJ. We're going to get him in on the show. So stay tuned for that. Carson, I'm coming already. There you go.
Do not come.
Do not come. Raptor Guy with a $5 super chat. I recently made a meme making fun of Rachel Gilmore using the Happy Gilmore
jackass.
You jackass. I don't know. Do you guys got a fever tonight?
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Oh, more cowbell.
Guys,
we got the meme out of the way.
I strongly dislike Rachel Gilmore.
You know what? We had something really funny lined up with Rachel Gilmore, and we pulled it out at the last minute. That's what she said. Because we just don't want to look at her. We just can't. Even if it's funny, can't handle it. Can't handle it.
It's like listening to Crystia Freeland's voice. It's just like, ugh.
It's just like nails on a chalkboard. We can't do it. Let's talk about what was going on this week. Let's get right into it because we got a lot to talk about tonight, folks. Calgary is a lost cause. It's Commie Central now. Good old Jeremy Farkas. Farkas, that woke man, piece of crap. Nenshi 2.0. If you guys haven't been following the news, of course, alongside Toronto and other cities, raising the Palestinian flag this week. I didn't even want to do a video on it because I don't want to show them raising the flag. I don't want to acknowledge it.
Disgusting.
It's they're putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't like the Palestinian nation.
I don't really care if it's Palestine, if it's Jamaica, if it's Ireland,
whatever.
Could you imagine if they raised the Israeli flag? Could you imagine if they raised, I don't know, Kuwait's flag or Russia? Let's say Russia, because the lefties love Russia. Could you imagine if they raised the Russian flag or the Chinese Communist flag, which they probably will do soon at City Hall, let's be honest. They love China. Here's what I'm sick and tired of. Why is it that these people get their flag risen and everybody says, oh, let's show compassion for them?
You can't say these people.
What do you mean, these people? Take a look at this. Should we be raising the flags of people that do this?
Israel, burn, burn! Palestinians will return! Israel is a terrorist state!
Do not wonder how revolution can be done! We must do it! Death to Canada! Death to the United States! And death to Israel!
So they can behave like this. They can block our roads.
I'm pretty sure chanting death to Israel and death to America while in America is like a crime.
Well, they're in Canada, so that's why they're doing it, because they're chicken shits. And a lot of people said, well, these were paid activists. They were brought in and paid off. I don't care where they're coming from. You don't raise their flags in major cities and praise them and say, hey, isn't this wonderful?
Toronto did it. Calgary did it. Winnipeg did it. I think one of the East Coast places did it.
Why is the Army not protecting Canada? Because we sent all of our equipment to Ukraine.
And also, they protect those people. Like, you give me 15 minutes and a few of my buddies, we can clear all those people out. But they're being protected by the police who are supposed to be stopping them from doing that.
Cold Dead Hand says Don Cherry said you people and got canceled. Let's talk about that.
Thanks, Dad.
Thanks. I'm going to get into Alberta. We're going to save Alberta. We're going to save the meat and potatoes for a little later in the stream. But I want to paint the picture as to how Mark Carney is helping independence in Alberta. Alberta is going to be the last bastion of freedom in this country. I still say that it is. Anybody who wants to get away from this horrible confederation needs to pack up and find a way to get out to Alberta, especially if you want to get in on that vote. Mark Carney. Now, I want to talk about censorship. Bill C-9.
God.
I want you guys... Now, Canada Proud tweeted this out today. Channels like this could be going the way of the dodo. So again, I don't know, maybe we have to get a website together with memberships or find a way to get around this. But this, we looked all throughout before the show, folks. I couldn't find anything supporting these claims that Canada Proud was retweeting from this Jeff Ballingall. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't want to take it as gospel. But we all heard about how the CRTC is pushing in and amongst Bill C9 to ensure the censorship that comes in Canada, when they say, we're doing this to protect your children. We're trying to make sure they're not bullied and harassed online. You already know that this is because they're public figures, which means they're open for scrutiny, and they don't want it anymore. You don't want you scrutinizing the government.
They don't like the Fringe.
They don't like me very much. But here it is. Canada Proud. Do you watch YouTube, listen to Spotify, enjoy Netflix? New regulations from the Canadian federal government risk destroying that experience in favor of bureaucrat-curated content. It's so wrong, and every Canadian needs to know about this.
That is actually like communist China dictatorship level, North Korea level shit.
It's really scary. Now, again, take this with a grain of salt, because Jeff has a thread about this. And again, we tried looking for the information. I couldn't find it anywhere. So unless it's being suppressed somewhere else, and maybe it's just points that I've missed out of reading Bill C9. New Canadian government regulations just dropped on streaming platforms and content creators. They're insane. Platforms must identify Canadian content using a 60-point system. They can't verify. Yes, the government wants platforms and creators to verify that they fit their definition of being Canadian. CRTC forces public revenue and spending disclosures for all streamers.
That's insane.
Annual production and diversity reports are required even for user-uploaded content. So again, it's not even about what we're wanting to do anymore. It's what does the government want you... This is where I'm saying that if Mark Carney gets this bill through, Danielle has said she's not sending the RCMP to their doors. She's not going to collect on free speech. And people are allowed to speak in Alberta, that it's still free province. But this is for YouTube. This is for Spotify. This is for streaming platforms. Now, I already know, and anybody who pays for woke Netflix already knows that they've done this partially already with the CRTC years ago. That's why people get VPNs and, pirate American Netflix, is because there's so much shit Canadian content on Canadian Netflix that nobody wants to watch. I mean, you were talking about that today.
I've been ranting about this for years, long before they were even talking about regulating the internet, about how the CRTC needs to go. If your Canadian content is good enough, it will stand on its own. People will watch it. People will buy it. If it sucks, why do my tax dollars have to subsidize it so you can continue to shove it in my face?
People love the Fringe, and we're not on a budget. We're not on a big budget, folks. People love it, though, and they watch it because it's good content, right? At least that's why I say, you guys want to come see the face? I get it. I get it. I won't fault you for that, but let's continue. Platforms may need affidavits and legal proof for videos they didn't make. Strict Canadian copyright ownership rules disqualify many videos and shows.
That's what they'll use to shut it down. If you play, if we played a clip of Rachel Gilmore to make fun of her, they could hit us with a copyright Canadian content and strike the video.
And 3 strikes and you're out, folks. 3 strikes, you're off the platform. Framework lays underground work for future algorithm quotas and streaming levies. Music videos are treated like full TV productions with complex scoring. In summary, this is government picking and choosing what it deems to be Canadian in 2025 in some Orwellian, Kafkaesque manner. It's inherently racist, totalitarian, and destroys a creator's economy while favoring Canadian corporate dinosaurs. If you're a Korean Canadian YouTuber who talks about K-pop, you'll have to provide proof you're Canadian, and other details or platforms will hide your content from algorithms. If you're a Canadian musician, you'll need to prove you're Canadian and your music is Canadian, or risk having your content hidden from Spotify. These regulations create senseless bureaucracy with stifle creativity and expressions, and will destroy the livelihood of countless creators and artists. It will turn Canada into some hermit kingdom of government-tilted media.
Essentially, it'll make it so that only what the government says is Canadian content and is okay will be what you see.
Yep. Now, it says here, Canada can and should be a cultural export superpower like South Korea. The move is more like North Korea, creepy, weird, and will make Canadian poorer and less free. Now, he pulls this. It's buried on page 5, footnote. And again, I went through it. I didn't see it. But again, he says it's buried. So we'll take it at full value. The rules are for streaming platforms and broadcasters, not individual creators for now. So this won't apply to YouTube yet. It's unclear if platforms will fill the need to promote government prioritized content or publications at the expense of individuals. And if we bring it up here, as set out in the Act, online undertaking means an undertaking for the transmission or retransmission of programs over the internet for reception by public by means of broadcasting receiving apparatus. Pursuant to subsection 2-1 of the Act, the definition of broadcasting undertaking includes an online undertaking. For clarity, audio and audiovisual creators, whether amateur or professional, they had to highlight that, are not broadcasting, are not the commission and cannot make, I skipped the line. Whether amateur or professional are not broadcasting undertakings or online undertakings and therefore are not subject to the Act. For now. So that means YouTubers. This means that the Commission cannot make regulatory requirements that apply directly to content creators. See Section 13 of the policy direction. So,
a bunch of blah, 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 as usual.
It's all a bunch of word salad, but this is where, again, folks, what part of any of this tells you that it's for the safety of your children or that it's so that they don't get harassed online? All of this is just an attempt to say, again, what everybody's always said, hate speech is speech they hate. They don't want you talking about them.
Even aside from that, I mean, how many the CanCon laws, even as they were in the 90s for regular radio and TV, like you just get certain bands, certain TV shows shoved down your throat constantly, and you can't get the shows that you want to see from America or Korea or wherever the show it is that you want to see from because it's not licensed properly, it's not Canadian content. I don't need the government, the federal government of my country, to interfere in what freaking entertainment I want to watch or not watch.
Yeah.
That is not their job. Show me in the charter where it says, and thou shalt regulate the freaking TV channels.
Yeah.
Like, get off me.
And MFSA even says those things will come in as an amendment. I mean, that's where it's going to go. If this wasn't YouTube, I'd make a comment about the federal government. Well, that could be hate speech. We got some honorable mentions to get out of the way. Let's go.
I don't know how you keep up with all this shit, because like I'm like just trying to look at the chat on mine when I'm at my place, and it's like a lot closer, and I can kind of see the chat while I'm doing it. Like this is a lot.
So Matt sees what goes on, and this is where I say a lot of people say, "Hey, Fringe, you're ignoring my comments. You don't see what I'm doing."
It's
and
a lot.
Matt sees how fast it's moving now and what's happening, and he's seeing behind the scenes here. So we're doing what we can, folks. Kevin H. Stankiewicz. $5 super chat. If Calgary raises the American flag on July 4th, does that mean Alberta is independent of Canada and the 51st state? I wish.
I think it requires a little paperwork.
But I wish that was the case. Thank you for the super chat. ATLJ with a $5 super chat. Bloodlines, Jesuits, Pope, Jesuits,
the Knights Malta, the
Knights
Freemasons.
Freemasons, Crown Bar Association, Parliament, Military Police, Citizen.
You made those words up.
Thank you for the super chat. Kevin, also with another $2 super chat. Will the CBC have the same fate as the BBC?
What happened to the BBC?
Trump's suing the shit out of them. And I hope so. It'd be nice. We'll see. Time will tell. Thank you for the super chat. Big Family Mama, $2 super chat. How would a spring CPC majority affect Alberta separation? It wouldn't.
I'm sure there are some people who would be like, okay, the Conservatives are in charge now. But for those of us who pay attention to the government, the federal government, as it is in Canada right now, I don't care who's in charge. We need to get away from the federal government because the system that is in place is still there.
The big selling point, folks, is that this wasn't about we don't like liberals and we want to leave. Alberta independence has been discussed very widely over the last, 30, 90s? 40 years.
80s?
It started out small and it's grown over time, specifically in the last 10 years abruptly because of the treatment of Justin Trudeau and Mark Carney. But what you have to remember when you look at politics and the basic rule of thumb for anybody to say, oh, it's okay now, we have conservatives. It's the same thing I say about joining the United States. While they do have a lot of laws that favor, your own constitutional rights, Donald Trump isn't going to be president forever. The Conservatives won't be in charge forever. Eventually, you go back to Liberals. And if anything, folks, when you look at the abuse that we've outcome in the last 10 years, when you look at the theft, the scandals, the lies, the word salad, the conflicts of interest.
The bills they're shoving it down our throats.
They can do it again. And there's no financial deal Ottawa or the Conservative Party can offer Albertans that's greater than independence. It's a lose no matter what. And it will affect we're going to talk about interference later in the stream. And you're going to even see it from the Conservative Party. But stay tuned. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Saved by Grace, becoming a member for 11 months. The Iron Curtain is most likely next. I grew up in the Soviets. I know how it goes. Nobody's going to be allowed to leave. That's a fear. That is a genuine fear. I hear you. Thank you for becoming a member for 11 months. Raptor Guy, $5 super chat. I am praying for Scarborough independence to get away from Mayor City Walk.
Oh, Olivia Chow.
Mayor Olivia Chow, you come to the library and you check out a copy of Mein Kampf, and you can read about pedophilia books and sexual content for your children.
Do not go outside. You can eat a dog, but do not walk a dog.
Do not walk your dog. You want to eat your dogs and your cats. Toten coming in. Tommy the Commie must be stewing in his own juices. He's mad. Okay, he's really mad.
He's big mad.
Look, he triggered a referendum. And this is where Danielle's really pulling the strings on this. Anybody who's mad at her. And again, since yesterday's video, I've talked with a lot of high up people. I know I angered Jeff Rath a little bit. He's mad. He's not big mad, but he's a little upset. He's a little upset. Jody Peterson, haven't seen him in a while. Thank you for becoming a new member of the Patriots Club and joining us once again. Good to see you back. We gotta. Oh, by the way, folks, if you're a little late getting in, hit the thumbs up. We're giving away a Calendars That Curse, Carney's Fingers Up calendar. If we hit 750 likes, there's also going to be free memberships, I think, given out. Hit that like button down below. It's free. We got to get people in here out of the hockey game. Come on in.
What are we next?
What else do we got going on in this
fresh
country?
hell is next?
Immigration. Let's talk about immigration. When we talk about people coming into the country and people who essentially are coming in here for the benefits that they get from Canada, we're talking about temporary foreign workers. We're talking about villagers, essentially. You were talking about some interesting facts today about the doctors and such that come to this country.
Let's spin this first and then I'll talk about it.
When we talk about the crime, when we talk about the theft that goes on, leave your keys outside for those who want to steal your cars.
The only time I'm leaving my keys outside so they can get them is so I can use it as bait.
Kathy says I'm irritated. YouTube keeps unsubscribing me. It's a war. We're fighting a war here. Don't forget to always check if you're subscribed. Join it. We're going to hit 150,000 by the end of the month, folks. That's the goal. Anytime refugees come in, have you guys seen, I'm sure you've seen the videos of Roxham Road. You've seen how Rebel News shows they just come over, they're told you're going to be arrested. And then they get in a bus and they stay in a hotel on our dime. We've already heard the totals of what that costs.
Live better than we do.
But did you know the process for vetting any of these folks to come over the border?
Well, they just came out with a new app.
Well, they came out with a new app, folks, just like ArriveScan. And you're not going to believe how easy and simple it is for people to come into this country. Take a look at this. This is going to blow your mind and probably make you blow your stack as well. Liberal border security. When a refugee enters Canada, they type into some type of app. They have no interaction with a human, and bingo, they're allowed to enter Canada. Don't believe me? Take a listen to this.
In essence, to speed things up, because we are short-staffed, we're allowing people into the country without first doing that security screening.
Okay, hold on a second here. So you're saying that a refugee claimant coming to Canada goes to a machine and says, I want to be a refugee in Canada, hits a button and they're in the country? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not a machine, it's an application. So the one-touch system, they're given instructions on how to use that. That connects directly with IRCC, and they're given that documentation to complete on their own once they're in the country. We're not doing that.
So basically they take out their phone theoretically and they tap it a few times and they are now in the country as a refugee accepted by our country.
Yes, we get some basic data from them, and again, we do the biometrics. Beyond that, they're doing that on their own, yes. So in
So
I was on the couch earlier surfing my phone looking for stuff to talk about tonight, and I played that, and I'm like, I'm still like shocked. So they take their app and they enter basic information, which, how do you know it's true? Nobody's looking at this shit. It's not vetted or anything. So, and then they get some documentation to complete on their own later once they're in the country, but just punch a couple of buttons on your phone and walk right in.
Yep. Just hit a button, like the Staples easy button. That was easy. Into Canada you come. Enjoy your $8,000 a month. Enjoy your free hotel rooms. Enjoy stealing people's cars and assaulting women in the streets, and no jail time either, by the way.
And people would say, "Oh, you guys are crazy." That's like it's literally out of his mouth, out of the freaking deposition he just gave.
And you remember guys like Sean Fraser and other people like that were in charge of the immigration in this country that say, oh, we can't actually find a lot of the temporary foreign workers that were told to leave. We can't find workers or asylum seekers. We don't know how to get them out of here. There's 10 million people in this country that shouldn't be here. And with an app like that, folks, they're just going to keep coming in. They're flooding it. No vetting whatsoever. So your streets are not safe. You're not safe when you get on a bus, when you're going to work, when you're out in a mall, when you're hanging out with your family, leaving a restaurant, wherever you are officially not safe because you don't know who's walking your streets or who was allowed into this country. That's scary as hell.
Yeah. And their whole big thing, their diversity is our strength, is we need these people. You know, we need more doctors and engineers and lawyers and whatever else. But the other thing I showed Derek today, and we didn't pull up the graph, but it was the retention levels for people who are in the higher end of the skill level. So your doctors, your lawyers, and your engineers, they leave. They come here, they get their education, they fuck off.
Yeah.
And then the people who stay are the low skill workers, people.
The villagers.
Yes.
The idiots.
Yes.
Yeah. The ones who are going to steal your car. The ones who, the poop jeets. They're going to stay and crap in your streets. They're going to touch your wives, your daughters.
We went to the wave pool the other day. I wouldn't let my daughter out of my sight.
Nope. It's when we grew up in the 80s and 90s, parents used to tell their kids, go on outside, come home when the street lights turn on, play with your friends, explore. You can't do that anymore. It's part of the reason we moved to a smaller town from cities like Calgary. I speak with counselors that I know in Calgary, and they've always asked, how's Spruce Grove? How are things since you moved? And I always say, I wouldn't go back for $1 million. And they say, well, why not? Calgary's amazing. It was amazing. It's a beautiful city. It's a gorgeous town. And you know what? The people there, the long-term residents of Calgary, very friendly, very nice people. But I can't let my kids go out on the streets there. I can't let them play in public unless I'm supervising them all the time. This country's gone to shit. And could you imagine, like, if they did this in America? How many Canadians would be claiming asylum if all they had to do was push a button on their phone and waltz into America?
I'd come.
I'd go tomorrow. But you know what they'd be telling you?
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
Current vibes in Canada. I'm going to come. Kevin with another $10 super chat. Thank you so much. The U.S. needs to deploy thousands of troops to secure the border with Canada with fencing along the entire length to stop Terry illegal entry and illegal substance smuggling. FAFO Canada. You know, see, I see this all the time from my American viewers, and I agree with it. I agree.
But
it's not us that
Canadians
did it. It's not the Canadians that did it. It's their representation. It's their government.
But I mean, the people doing stuff cutting across the border, every time you see, like the fentanyl lab in BC. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
That's okay.
All right. The labs in BC, or every time they arrest a trucker crossing the border with a bunch of smuggled in pew-pews, it's always the same people, isn't it? It's not, you know, your Canadian who's lived here for his whole life. It's somebody else.
It's really sad that this is where our country has fallen. But this is where I keep showing you guys. These are all the points that when people say, why did Danielle Smith shift the goalposts? Why is Danielle Smith trying to work with Mark Carney? There's a middle ground of people who haven't decided in this province yet. And I'll get into the numbers again a little later when we get into the Danielle stuff. But if you watch yesterday's video, I think it makes a lot of sense that when you look at shit like this, when you look at the burning of flags and death to Canada, and we're raising Palestinian flags everywhere, even if one of them was in Alberta, we're bankrupting the country. We're not putting any projects forward, even though there's rumor going around a pipeline's going to be cleared just because Mark Carney, had to. He doesn't have a choice.
One
pipeline. Which isn't what Albertans asked for.
And if you stay in Canada, that's one pipeline that still gets just funneled out and all the money siphoned out east anyways.
While the jobs are hemorrhaging, while the country falls apart, and Danielle says, I'm trying. This was the mandate I was given. People are going to start saying the middle class, the middle rung voters who haven't decided yet, the ones that would call her reckless if she came out and called a referendum today, those ones will start to turn around and say, maybe you need a new mandate because this isn't working and we're never getting out of this. People need to be able to open their eyes.
The highway piss jugs.
The highway piss jugs, yep. Greg with $5 super chat. Sounds like Joe Biden and Mark Carney have the same immigration policy. Build back better, but nothing's been built, nothing's back, and nothing's certainly better. Absolutely they do.
Nothing.
Let's get a little further into this, folks. BC, David Eby, has been trying to block Alberta everywhere he can. You know that if Mark Carney calls this pipeline, David's going to make things difficult in relationship between
every step of the way
between Alberta and BC. I say we shut off the taps. Here's some interesting information coming out of BC. Rumors are swirling that David Eby is planning on calling a snap election to take advantage of the infighting in the BC Conservative Party. So what he's going to do essentially is the same thing Doug Ford did, the same thing Mark Carney did. They're going to call a snap election. They're going to use the infighting. They're going to use TDS, or Trump Derangement Syndrome, to try and get another victory so that he claims another 4 years to do whatever he wants. All while, by the way, he's allowing Indigenous folks to steal your land, take your houses, your property.
Sus.
Yeah, Rex does it really good here. He's a dangerous moron.
Yeah, well, most of them are.
This is the same province that legalized hard drugs. That said, it's okay. We're just going to let people...
how did that go for them over there?
Mr. Alberta, $5 super chat. Hey, Fringe, you helped inspire me to move from memes and into the video content game. Also, Marquis Fed lawyers were desperate in APP's hearing today. That's good. I'm glad. I'm going to be covering what happened in that hearing. Keep your eyes peeled to the channel for that. I really appreciate the super chat, Mr. Alberta. Thank you. Thank you. It's always flattering to hear you inspire people to do better. We're all on the same team here, folks, and getting the information out, especially with the censorship that's coming, is very vital.
We all want things to suck less. And yes, we disagree with some of the people in the movement. We can have discussions, but the bottom line is we all just want it to stop. All of this nonsense that we keep talking about every week, we just want it to stop.
Derek, if Alberta became a state, Senator Derek sounds nice, if only to see you wear a comic book suit.
That'd be great.
I will do that. I will do that right now. In fact, I've already said that if things get really scary in the province, if I'm wrong about what Danielle's doing, or when it comes time to elect people in a free Alberta, if another party forms or if they need somebody, I will jump on for Parkland County. I will vow that right now. I will happily
carve it in stone.
I will happily represent the people of Parkland County. Let's talk about guns. Let's talk about our guns, shall we? Because this is part of the reason, as we get towards the Alberta topic, that Danielle Smith is pushing Bill 1. We need Bill 1 if we're going to move into a referendum, because Bill 1, of course, makes it so that Alberta has better jurisdiction over things like the gun grab, better jurisdiction over international deals. They need the negotiating power, and they need the right to say, stop, you can't do this in Alberta. So that's part of the reason we need to give the time, and that's part of the reason I think Danielle Smith, again, moved the goalpost. As much as it makes me angry, as much as it makes you guys angry, I know that we all wanted that Sunday announcement of, hey, enough is enough. And look, I fell victim to it too, folks. I fell victim to the emotional aspect. We're all done. We don't want any more. And I've said a million times over, when it comes to elections, when it comes to anything with the government, take the emotion out of it and think logically. And I screwed up on that end. So for that, folks, I apologize. I'm human. I'm like you. I'm fed up, and I want Alberta to be independent. But what we have to look at is, how do we get it while also not sandbagging the only premier that's working for Canadians, real Canadians in Alberta?
Every time you get really mad at whatever Danielle's doing, just ask yourself, is there somebody who's ready to take it over and do a better job right now?
Yeah.
Can they, if she fumbles the ball on the 50-yard line, is there somebody who can scoop it up and go right now? If not,
stick with it.
Stick with it.
There's nothing. Danielle hasn't raised taxes. She allowed Bill 54, and this was one of the things I talked about with PJ the Belt on the weekend. It didn't make sense to me that Danielle would come out with Bill 54 knowing that as soon as it becomes available, organizations like APP are going to run their referendum question, that they're going to try to get a referendum in Alberta. She's spoken with APP multiple times, but what I tried to think about when that video came out, folks, was going back to the Alberta Independence rally when the audio was played before Danielle Smith became premier, during her leadership run. When Ezra Levant said, "What is the or else for Alberta?" And she said, it's Dr. Modry and the APP. If Danielle allows the APP to run the grassroots wagon of let's get out of Alberta, Danielle Smith doesn't have to make enemies out of Ottawa. While chaos is erupting in Alberta, there's a lot of people coming after her right now. It also sparks a lot of the games that are going to go on in the background. I think what she's doing right now is just that. The answer to the or else, we got the or else on Sunday. APP was in court this week. They're going to get an answer on their approval, and she's already said that if that fails, Tommy the Commie's petition may be restructured or will be restructured into a constitutional question for referendum in 2026.
Let's get it.
We're going to get it. Kevin, $10 super chat. Remember, 5440 or fight. If the British claim that Columbia was illegal and they give all BC land back to First Nations, is America's renounced claim up to Alaska become legally legitimate again? I mean, it is a good question. I'm not sure how that would go. You mean shovels? I'm going to say it outright because we're going to get censored soon anyways.
This whole video's going down.
Here's part of the reason that Danielle needs Bill 1 while we get to the Alberta stuff. The results of Mark Carney's 6-week gun buyback pilot program in Cape Breton are in. The RCMP was only able to collect an estimated 11% of the newly outlawed firearms on the island, which has voted Liberal every election since the year 2000.
So in the most liberal place in the land, they only got 11% of their buyback target.
That's very telling.
Yeah, I agree. 11% is still too much.
11% too much.
Yeah, nobody give up anything.
Don't ever give, anytime the government says we need this back or we need more power, shush. Don't give it to them. Don't do nothing for the government. There's a reason they want it. They want to take your guns so that you can't defend yourself. They want to ensure that they can make you roll over and govern you harder.
Justice sticks. I like that one too.
Northern BC should be a separate province from the LML. Here's the thing. If Alberta gains its independence, BC is going to follow, and they're just going to be annexed. They're going to have to. They won't have an option.
The better part of it.
And all the wokies will leave. In fact, there was a meme going around today that Alberta NDP threatened to leave if Alberta becomes independent. Sounds like a win-win to me. It sounds... Oh.
The only reason why, after 200 years of Canada, why they would want to take the weapons now is because they're probably going to do something where you would want to use them.
Chris says, I heard it was only 22 guns.
Well, it's a small place. That might be 11%.
That might be 11, whatever guns. It is, it's 11%. But what's funny is we asked Grok, how much money has the Canadian government invested in the gun buyback program? It's very telling because while they only got 11%, folks, let's take a look. Let's take a look at how many of your tax dollars are going out the window. Again, paints a pretty good picture for Alberta referendum and independence to me. Canadian government's assault-style compensation program, often referred to as the buyback program, stems from the May 2020 prohibition of over 1,500 models, yada, yada. We already know what it is. Where was it here? The program has faced criticism for high costs relative to results,
which are none.
As of mid-2025, over 12,000 firearms were collected from businesses for $22 million in compensation, but zero from individual owners despite significant prior spending. Zero. Estimates for total lifetime costs vary widely, from $248 million from government projection for direct compensation to $756 million, according to the PBO. Or up to $6 billion, claims the Fraser Institute. That's over the entire span. So here you see business compensation for 2024 to 2025, $22 million.
What business has firearms that are on that list?
I have
That's
no
what
clue.
I'm curious about.
No clue. Total program spending from 2020 to 2024, $67.2 million. Additional allocations from 24 to 25, $21 to $33 million. Grand total spent approximately $100 million.
So far.
To get
zero from private ownership.
To get 11%.
From Cape Breton, which is a tiny little island.
From Cape Breton. Now, future projections. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Government estimates $248 million total for compensation to businesses and individuals. It does not include the full administration costs. Notice how they put that, because they have to have a chance to pad their pockets. The Parliamentary Budget Officer says $47 to $756 million for buybacks alone, plus hundreds of millions more for enforcement.
Hundreds of millions more.
And for storage and enforcement. Fraser Institute up to $4 to $6 billion overall, including $460 million projected for 25 to 26 on planning and surveys.
Planning and surveys.
$460 million for surveys.
Survey says, suck it.
Full economic statement from 2024, nearly $600 million planned over 3 years, starting in 2025. The program remains controversial, with critics arguing it diverts resources from illegal trafficking, responsible for 70 to 90% of crime guns. It's got to be 99%.
So another thing that I always bring up to people is, I don't remember the exact number. Yeah, that makes sense.
The businesses are the gun shops and retailers. Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because they know exactly where they are. That's why they had to give them up. So they had probably sent people there. But somewhere upwards of 90%, I don't remember the exact number, 93, 97, whatever it is in there, of gun crime, all gun crime in Canada is committed with illegal handguns smuggled in from the U.S. Not rifles. We have not had a shooting in Canada with a rifle since the Polytech in the 90s. So why is this all of a sudden such a big deal to get every single semi-automatic magazine-fed rifle in existence out of Canada?
22 guns at $100 million so far is $4.5 million per person.
No, that's just, they're including the businesses in that too.
Yeah, businesses as well.
The Cape Breton project was there because he gave amnesty to everybody else until next year. He extended it another year for all the rest of the country. But in Cape Breton, they did a pilot project to see how successful it would be, and they got 11% in the most liberal place in the land.
I'll tell you what, if the government ever comes to my door looking for anything like that, the answer is no. Do not comply. Do not give that to them.
Do not come.
And this is where I'm saying, well, people, and again, folks, listen very carefully to what I say. I'm not going to use the words, let me be clear, because we all know how much we hate that. Just listen very carefully. I understand and I agree with everyone's frustration about Sunday/Monday and Danielle's moving of the goalposts. But see what's going on here with Bill 1, and to ensure we keep... This is where Matt was talking about, ensure that somebody else can pick up the ball and run with it. I don't see any other premier saying we should be allowed to keep those, that they're going to defend our rights to hang on to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you talk about kids being protected, if you saw this morning's video, which got heavily censored, please go and check it out if you haven't. Danielle's being criticized for using the notwithstanding clause to say kids aren't allowed to cut off their junk until they're adults. She's the only premier doing anything in this country worth noting. And other premiers could learn a thing or two from her, I think.
And that's how it's supposed to be, by the way. The provinces are supposed to have a lot more autonomy from the federal government than they do. And in law, they do. But the provinces have done whatever the feds say for so long that people act surprised and tell you you're a traitor and you're crazy when you, for a province, tell the feds to kick rocks. Well, that's what you're supposed to do.
Kevin says, what's Scott Moe doing in Saskatchewan? I don't know. I mean, Scott Moe was first to put his foot down on the blockers.
Yeah, they're not going to send the regular RCMP to your door for that. Remember the dudes from the convoy protest in the unmarked green uniforms, wherever they came from? It'll be some of those.
It'll be those guys. It'll be those lovely people. If you want to know about the RCMP as well, again, making a wonderful case for Alberta Independence. Tamara Leach is going to be on the channel very soon, trying to get her and Chris Barber on together. I wanted to get both of them on together to answer questions about what's happening next in their proceedings, what's happening with Big Red. But for anybody looking for an update on Tamara's house arrest for mischief, we'll take a look at what the brown coats are doing now. The brown shirts, they call them brown shirts or brown coats?
Shirts.
Brown shirts?
Yep.
Shout out to the Medicine Hat Police Service for keeping our streets safe. I'm happy to report that my very first police check at 12:26 in the evening, this is just after midnight, in the wee hours of a Wednesday morning, was a success. Thank you for ensuring mischief is not being spread on the streets of Medicine Hat. So almost 1 o'clock in the morning, Medicine Hat Police just happened to knock on Tamara's door, waking her ass out of bed, saying, oh, we just wanted to make sure you're home. Wanted to make sure you're not out of the bar or committing any mischief out in the streets.
They do that on purpose. It's a tactic.
Oh, they do it on purpose.
To come bang on your door at 2 a.m, you're half asleep, they shine their flashlights in your eyes. It's a tactic.
Single Davey, what's up, Unhinged? First time on here. Hey, nobody forgets you first. We'll go easy on you. Thanks for being here.
Derek's got a lot of lube.
We got to make sure people are wonderful. They're kept in place, that they have a good time. Really? Did somebody gift this person a membership? How are the trucker convoy criminals doing? It's sarcastic. It's sarcasm. Okay, thank you. Sorry, AW. Hey, look, we get a lot of trolls in here. You got to forgive me. They must come legally. Yes, they come in legally. We'll have a big, beautiful door in our wall, and they'll come up legally.
I forgot to send that to you today, but there was a video of a guy who was trying to climb the wall at the southern border, and he got wrapped up in the barbed wire. He was stuck in there. So the guys were up there in one of those truck baskets cutting him out of all the razor wire. He was like wrapped up in it.
Oh, dear God.
He should have come in legally.
He should have came legally through the big, beautiful door. Penguin, straight up harassment on Tamara. They were trying to make an example of her so no one ever goes against the government.
For real, though, like mischief. And it's been years, and they're banging on her door. She's under house arrest. There are people who murder people who just get bail and they're out the next day. It's madness.
Rocky Mountain says that was a wonderful Trump impression. I love it. I love when you talk like the Donald. I think it's wonderful. We always tell the trolls when they come in to go get a lollipop, maybe feel better about yourselves. When I meet with Danielle Smith tomorrow, she wanted to meet my kids. She's a wonderful woman. She says, bring your children. I want to see them and meet them finally. She loves the Fringe. I'm going to ask Danielle for the Donald's phone number. I'm going to say, get me in touch with Donald. I want to talk like the Donald with Donald. Let's get Donald on the show. Let's get Donald Trump sitting down here and talking to me. I'll tell him how much we need a big, beautiful wall along the Canadian border, and to let the Fringe and his community into the United States legally. Make them citizens. We'll go over there, and we'll make America even greater than it already is. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
She's in the chat.
Oh, look, Tamara's here. Yay! We love Tamara. How you doing, my dear? Chris lost his phone on Monday, so we had to postpone, but we'll be on very soon. I don't want to say exactly everything we're talking about, but Tamara's got some cool stuff going on. While she's on house arrest, you're going to want to check that out when we have her on the channel with Chris. It's going to be wonderful.
We can't have her live in studio. She's not allowed to leave.
She's not allowed to leave her house. She's locked in there. She's getting harassed by the RCMP. And it's okay, folks. She can take it. She's tough. She's a wonderful lady. She told the RCMP to go get a lollipop. Maybe feel better. We love Tamara. Thank you for being here, my dear.
All right.
I hope you're well. I really hope you're well.
What fresh hell is next?
Let's get into Alberta. Let's get into what we're talking about with Alberta and independence.
Alberta.
Good old Alberta. Let's get into Alberta.
Alberta beef?
Here's the thing. A lot of people were talking about what was going on with the video on Danielle Smith. A lot of people said, hey, Fringe, you're flip-flopping. You're 1 minute you're mad at Danielle. The next minute you're saying, hey, let's go easy on her. Let's buy into the 4D chess that's going on. Now, as I said earlier, I gave in to the emotion. We've all been talking on bated breath about independence since Danielle put out her video stating you have 6 months or else. We thought, based off of Danielle Smith's track record of not being afraid to stand up to the government, that this was the time she was going to pull a Ralph Klein and say, all right, that's it. We're going to a referendum. We got to make sure we're not getting emotionally attached, because the lawfare and the warfare is going to be coming at us left, right, and center, folks.
Please remember, there's more than just the Liberals who are going to mess with it. There are foreign actors who would love nothing better than to not even push it one way or the other, just to make it in a mess, as much of a mess as they can. There are people within the Conservative Party who don't want Alberta out because that's where their base of power is. There will never be another Conservative federal government again if Alberta leaves.
Well, they'll lose their whole party.
So there's a lot of things that are going to be happening. There's going to be a lot of
federal
trolling
government
and bots and who knows what else.
Well, the federal government doesn't want to lose their golden goose. They don't want to lose their credit card. If Alberta goes, what are they going to do? Where are they going to get all their scandal money from?
They'll sell poutine from Quebec.
From Quebec, oh, tabarnak. You got KG Kennedy. I seen Tamara on Rebels Buffalo show today, a true Canadian hero. Tamara's beyond a Canadian hero. We owe Tamara, Chris, and everyone involved in the Freedom Convoy an unpayable debt, ladies and gentlemen. That is why she is more than a hero to me. She's the Queen of Canada. She will always, always have my respect for everything she's endured, her solitary confinement, her countless hours of persecution from the police, being woken up at 12:30 at night just to keep Canada safe. She's like Batman, but I'm Batman, so she can't be Batman. But she's close. She's close. She's definitely a hero. We love you, Tamara.
Where are the other likes going?
Where are the other likes going? Tell me. Swear to me. Raptor Guy, $5 super chat. So Carney makes this mess. Berta says, I'm not cleaning that up. 2.5 Men reference. There you go. Thank you so much. Dutchy, $140 super chat. What? Thank you for being a true hero and inspiring a nation, Tamara. There you go. Dutchy, thank you so much. So generous of you. Dutchy's always amazing to the chat.
Teach me how to Dutchy.
I will not teach you how to Dutchy. Dutchy can teach you how to Dutchy. Dutchy's been in here. He's been in here a long time. He's a wonderful viewer. Thank you for the super chat. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Let's talk about why it was so important for Danielle to move those goalposts a little further. Because Carolina Cheek, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, chimed in as Rise of Alberta posted a segment of what I put out on that video. And this isn't a flex, but just to paint a little context for you folks.
I'll flex for you.
A little flex. Derek proposes a theory worth considering. Danielle Smith might not be avoiding independence after all. She could be quietly setting the stage for a referendum that's a guaranteed win. We got to talk about the numbers, because I keep mentioning that there's this middle crowd of voters that aren't convinced yet or are on the fence about Alberta independence, and these are UCP supporters. The reason I say that is when you look at the UCP voters, how many of the MPs, or not MPs, the MLAs. I always confuse the two. How many of the MLAs left on the UCP right now are from Jason Kenney? How many of them have Jason Kenney-like views on independence? Those people, and when I say those people, I mean the people who vote for those MLAs share those same thoughts. So these are where I say to take the emotion out of it, folks, and realize that what we need now is not to rush the referendum, but take our time to ensure that if we're going to strike, it is going to be effective and it's going to hopefully result in a win.
Let us cook.
Those people who voted those MLAs in side with people like Jason Kenney, And they will say, if Danielle came out on Sunday or Monday and said, okay, that's it, even if she did it the way I suggested by saying, I tried, I'm just going to allow the democratic process to unfold, here is a date. I certainly am not discounting how horrible it is for you to threaten or else and then not say anything at all. You either don't mention it at all to begin with, or you back it up. I am in full agreement of that. The problem if Danielle even did it in a nice way or a strategic way, even by setting a date before other things are done, and I'll get to those, is that it would come off as reckless. That would come off as emotional. And all of a sudden, you've got Naheed Nenshi, you've got the ATA, who are already at Danielle's feet, screaming. You've also got, where is it here? Where is it? The Alberta nurses, who just announced today they're going on strike against Danielle because of the strike with the ATA and the notwithstanding clause.
I bet all those people in that picture are just like the best people to hang out with. They look like they're a lot
Oh, they look like a lot of fun. A lot of fun, folks. They look wonderful, don't they? But you've got the nurses going after Danielle Smith. They're all coming after her as a political strategy to get Naheed Nenshi into the premiership. So if Danielle said, here's a date, all of those guys have their ammunition. She instantly makes an enemy out of Ottawa. All those talks with Mark Carney about a pipeline, about anything that's beneficial for Canada, fall apart. And all of a sudden, Danielle's got a target on her back.
And let's be clear, if you get the NDP in charge of Alberta, it's over. You're fucked. You're done.
Yep.
It's over.
Now, is that 595 likes? Guys, we only need 155 more likes before we're doing a giveaway in free members. We need a leader, Derek. Someone needs to step up that has influence. Well, who are you going to get besides Danielle? Like, this is my point. Here's where the numbers come in and proves what I was talking about yesterday. Carolina came out and said, I've been thinking about this for a very long time. This is an important video for all doubting Tomasses and skeptics. Here is my reply to Marty up north from the end of June. Here's my link to the repost, or my reply to David. Marty up north, she's for independence, but Marty, she doesn't have the mandate to do it openly yet. So she lets the movement grow, gives it oxygen whenever she can. Really, I hope I'm not wrong about her. Now, she brings up this point, and this is where the numbers come in, folks. Raptor Guy, thank you for the $5 super chat. Bonnie Critchley is trying to get a vote split to help Nenshi get in. And she will. They'll do anything to get back in right now, folks. Again, this is where I say we have to be vigilant. We have to take the emotion out of it. I know Jeff Rath was mad about the video because he says, you're helping Danielle. We got to go now. We got to get a referendum now. Why won't she talk about it at the AGM? I'm going to show you with these numbers why the board of the AGM said, let's not talk about independence at the AGM, even though it's a member-driven event. Carolina says, the point is the leverage she brings to the awareness of the referendum. There are 2.9 million eligible voters in Alberta. How many of them do you think have any idea about the independence movement? My guess is 5%. Now, this is a tweet from before, but if you guys were at the Alberta Independence rally, if you were watching and listening to the audio,
God, I wish I was here for that.
It was amazing. It was electrifying. But Danielle Smith mentions in the audio with Ezra Levant that at that time, while she was running for leadership, Dr. Modry had roughly 1 million Albertans on a database. So let's just say we'll add a couple 100,000 to that 1 million. Let's say 1.4 million names on a database that are sitting with a note of intent to vote on independence. We have 3 million eligible voters in Alberta. The last provincial election in Alberta only saw a 30% voter turnout. And people will say, well, that's beneficial for the 1.4 million people that you're guesstimating are on Modry's and APP's databases to vote for independence. They won't all show up to vote on referendum day. They're giving their signatures to get it to a petition, but you will never get 100%. So here's what she says. If I were in your position, I would create a solid plan for a massive online campaign, short video after short video explaining what exactly the referendum is and when it will happen, what it's about, why we need the referendum, what are two options Alberta has, stay or leave, what the independence movement is, that it's a legal grassroots movement, what prompted it, short history about imbalance to give and take in decades of interwoven and anecdotes, how the current independence movement is organized, why Alberta will be better off without the Federation. Now, some of these things have happened. When we look at the value of freedom that APP has done out, and that's the point of all of this, is that when you have 3 million voters and only about 40 to 50% of those voters,
if you're lucky,
that are putting out their signature to sign for a petition on running a referendum. If we only get a percentage of those on a referendum vote, on voting day, having their say, how do you think we'll fare in that referendum? This is why Danielle has moved the goalposts, I'm convinced. She's a very smart woman. She knows numbers we don't know. Keep in mind, her people are constantly polling for numbers. They've got offices dedicated to understanding where they stand if an election was called. This is why Pierre and his guys made sure that the vote went through confidently for the budget against Mark Carney. Even the Conservatives know it's not time to go to the polls. So they get their numbers all the time, folks. And this is what I said down here in response to the voters. The eligibility of voters is the key. APP said that their database holds close to 1 million names. This proves my point. If we have 1 million on board and maybe a couple 100,000 that aren't registered with APP, it isn't enough yet to win enough votes to succeed in a referendum. Danielle knows this. Alberta Prosperity Project needs more time to get those other people on board, or Danielle has to do her job and remain a premier with a mandate and allow Mark Carney to sink Canada enough and make life more frustrating and difficult that others see it for themselves, that the benefit is independence. If we want to win this, folks, we need to be vigilant and we need to be prepared. Anything worth doing is doing it right. And that's where I'm standing on this, that no matter where you stand on independence, let's say, for example, let's just do a little what if scenario. Danielle comes out tomorrow and says, we're calling a referendum on June 1st. We're going to have a referendum vote June 1st, and we're going to go to the polls. Instantly, Ottawa gets mad. Instantly, Mark Carney, the Liberals, even the Conservative Party come out full attack, because the Conservative Party, don't forget, Pierre's already said he doesn't support independence because they'll lose the majority of their party. So it all comes full attack from Ottawa. Danielle's legislature is being bombarded by the ATA, by AUPE, by the nurses union, by all the people on strike, and then you're going to have Tommy the Commie's idiots all out there in full force saying, you called a referendum, you're reckless, you don't care. You're going to have Nenshi pointing at all of it with his bought and paid for union workers under all those that are striking saying, look what Danielle did. Let's have an election. Let's get me in that seat. Meanwhile, that 50% of undecided voters, those who vote for more of the Jason Kenney style of the UCP, that aren't convinced yet about independence, well, they walk. And they say, Danielle's lost my vote. She's not going to get my vote because she was reckless and called a referendum. She's made life more difficult for us in Alberta.
And then it's over.
We skate through, theoretically, the referendum goes through, it fails. We don't get the roughly 60% of the supportive vote that we need. We get through to 2027 when there's a provincial election, or before if there's a non-confidence vote called on Danielle or a recall. We get there, Danielle loses her seat. Danielle loses the premiership. All of a sudden, Naheed Nenshi is in control because we might have Cam Davies, we might have others coming out saying, hey, let's start a real independence movement in Alberta. And I advocated for it, but after looking at these numbers, folks, I should not have done that, and I'll admit that mistake. If Danielle loses her job as premier, and we've held a referendum vote, look at Quebec in the 90s. When was the next referendum vote after that? Oh, wait, they haven't had one. They're trying to, But referendums take time. They need to make sure they have their numbers. They need to make sure the stage is set appropriately to push the people living there to vote in favor to leave. And it's looking like it might succeed if Quebec does it again in 2026 or around there. So what Danielle is doing right now is the same thing. By moving the goalposts, sure, people are in the independence movement, people that watch this channel, people like you and I, we're all mad. We're all fed up. We're mad that it was all bark and no bite. But that is the emotion, ladies and gentlemen. It's the emotion that we're bringing into it. We're fed up. We just want a solution. And I'm with you. But if we let the emotions get the better of us, we lose. What I'm asking everybody to do is look at it logically and say, if we're going to do this, we're only going to get one shot. If Nenshi wins, he will strike down Bill 54. He'll repeal Bill 1, which was on its, I believe, third reading. So it's almost law. And Danielle needs Bill 1 in order to push independence for us, but for APP to do it, not her. If Danielle stands back and says, I'm going to continue to work with Mark Carney, I'm going to continue to try and find a way for a unified Alberta within Canada, those Jason Kenney supporters or voters stay and say she's doing the right thing. And while Mark Carney ums and ahs, we all know he's not going to follow through with his promises. Even if they make a pipeline announcement, folks, which looks like it's inevitable, do you really think they're going to put shovels in the ground right away?
They have to do environmental surveys. They have to consider climate change. They have to consult with the Indigenous.
Greg says, how long for Bill 1 to fully pass? I believe it's not much longer. I'll ask Danielle. When I'm with her tomorrow, I will ask. But what you have to see is when you look at, TMX? That got delayed forever. Mm-hmm. Trudeau had to come in and try to buy it. They had to shut it down. It's never going to get done. Pipelines are such a tricky business, folks. They're going to announce it to try and quell those in Alberta that say, okay, fine, we got a pipeline. Looks like they want to work with us. But while Mark Carney ums and ahs and gets nothing done and just talks, we've already seen him do it over the last 8 months. Those Albertans that sit with the Jason Kenney style politics, even those who sit maybe with the NDP,
disgusting,
are going to start saying, hey, you know what? Things are getting worse in this province. They're getting worse across the country. Nothing's getting fixed. They're talking about UBI. They're talking about all these things that are going to just put us in the poorhouse. Maybe independence is the right answer. And guess what, folks? They come around while APP continues doing their job, touring the province, educating folks. Now's the time to leave. Read the value of freedom. When you have all these teachers protesting, pull them away from their union heads. Hey, you guys get a 30% bump overnight. No more GST, no more income taxes, or heavily reduced income taxes for the next 5 years before we eliminate it altogether. So all the things you're barking about, new hospitals, new resources, better trained doctors, they're all going to come here if they're paying less taxes. You get everything you want, folks, and all you got to do is vote for independence. Danielle is holding a referendum vote on the ballot in 2026. We know we're getting that. But they don't want us talking about it at the AGM because, again, if Danielle or her people acknowledge it, it looks reckless. And it starts to piss off Ottawa. It starts to piss off the voters who do hold the keys to Danielle's future. I think what she's doing here is very smart and very strategic. And when you connect all the dots, I don't see how it's a fictitious guess. Or what is it they say, an educated wish?
A hope, a prayer, a dream.
Of what Danielle's doing? I think she's making the right move. And I sincerely, and like I said, folks, if I am wrong on this, I will concede and I will apologize to this audience. But I think that the time for cool heads, if we truly want independence, we need time to prepare. We need time to work. And with APP, continue educating our neighbors. Let Danielle do what Danielle's got to do. And if she turns out to not be backing us, folks, during this time, all the things I'm talking about will come to fruition because APP will still be out there doing their job. We can do this with or without Danielle. But I think she is truly on our side. I do think she stands in line with independence. I'm going to get to some of the chat.
There's a bunch of it.
There's a bunch of it, and I got to get to the honorable mentions because I don't want to ignore anybody. Kevin says, but what happens if President Trump cancels CUSMA on January 2nd to go into effect July 3rd? Then what? So a lot of people have mentioned that. Keep in mind, if Alberta gets independence, that's a new deal that would have to be negotiated with the United States. We wouldn't be attached to CUSMA because CUSMA was done between Mexico and Canada, the United States.
We get a better deal.
We would have to negotiate a new deal, probably one that involves oil and gas. But it would veto any kind of international agreement because Alberta would be a new country. It would be its own republic. It was no longer in the confines of Canada. So I know a lot of people have mentioned that it's not worth worrying over because we'd have to go back to the negotiation table alongside everything else. But when we talk about the negotiation table, this is the same reason I don't think Danielle should have pulled out a date. Now that I look at all of this and take the emotion out of it. What do you think Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives would think if Danielle called a referendum and a date?
She'd be getting phone calls.
She'd be getting a lot of phone calls. And not only that, folks, we'll get into the influence that comes in and where the lawfare and warfare is a big issue. Because PJ the Belt talked about that briefly. Alberta and Canada need to learn from Italy where the right united to defeat the left, hence the reason they gave a great leader. They have a great leader. Because when divided, we have the likes of Carney or the threat of having Nenshi. This is where I say, and thank you for the $10 super chat. This is where I say it's beneficial to still back Danielle. A lot of people in the independence movement are soured over what happened over the weekend, and it may cost her a lot of seats. We can't afford to lose her if we want independence. Even if you're mad at Danielle, it's kind of like the old, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. We have to think strategic. We have to think about what is going to benefit independence. Take the emotion out of it. Look at the facts. That's the way I think we need to move.
And it's like I said, if you have somebody you think could have the amount of weight and influence and pick up that ball and carry it across the goal line right now, you tell me who it is. Because I don't think there is one.
Dutchy, $70 super chat, thank you so much, has a very valid point. How do we move on it if it fails like 49 to 51% split? There will be so much fighting in the province. So this is what's important to remember as well. If that vote fails, let's say Danielle holds the referendum vote in 2026, which, again, she's acknowledged she is going to do. The reason we haven't heard a date yet, and the reason I don't think we'll get a date, is because much like I'm going to work with a United Canada, I'm going to move the goalposts to not cause the reckless tag. I think that she's waiting for the verification of Tommy's signatures so that she can at minimum come out and say, okay, almost 500,000 Albertans asked for a referendum. We have Bill 54. We have to honor the law. We have to respect the law that's in place. So a referendum will be held on such and such a date, but then it's not Danielle calling the date. It was Tommy's petition. So then Tommy the commie gets labeled as reckless. Tommy the commie is told, hey, why did you do that, dude? You just caused a huge problem. The guy who wanted to use all of their data to start a political party.
With that guy, I want to hug him.
Right? Like the guy, keep in mind, he wanted all of that data from people to make a political party. Now they're going to say, you're not running in politics. You just caused a referendum. Tommy's going to be screwed. It's... Here's the problem. If Danielle were to do any of this too, Alberta Prosperity Project showed this. PJ the Belt talked about it. Because this is where we get to the infighting that Dutchy had mentioned. If Danielle loses, if we lose the vote and all the people are soured that Danielle didn't cause a date or she wasn't more heavily involved, if Nenshi gets in, not only are we fighting amongst each other in a civil war, but Nenshi will repeal Bill 1, he'll repeal Bill 54, and we will never get another referendum vote, ever. He will make it illegal for Alberta. He will change things within our laws so that we never get a referendum again. Another point as to why it's so beneficial to still back Danielle, even if you don't agree with the way she's handled things. We cannot afford to lose this. And if it means that Danielle is silent on the issue, that she's mum on the subject, if it means we take another 6 to 8 months to get people educated, to get people on board, to watch Mark Carney sink this country further into the toilet, I'm all for it if it means we're better prepared for a better result. Like I said earlier, if you're going to do something, it's worth doing it right or don't bother at all. But now you've got CSIS. Here's where the government bots already come in. CSIS is warning that Alberta could be a target for foreign interference if the province holds a sovereignty referendum. Director Dan Rogers noted the agency would be on heightened alert, monitoring for misinformation or influence operations, while emphasizing they don't restrict Canadians' right to express their opinions.
We're misinformation.
We are misinformation that they're talking about. Again, C9 comes out, the censorship laws. Danielle calls a referendum. How fast do you think they would fast track C9? How much support do you think the Conservatives would give to the censorship bill if they knew that it was going to stop guys like me or anybody else from talking about independence and getting people educated on independence?
Independence is a Russian hoax.
If it means it's all Russia, it's Trump, it's all these people, they would spin it so much
They're
to ensure.
already saying that.
They're the rats on the sinking ship. Even the Conservatives, folks, they don't want us to have our independence. They will make sure we're censored into oblivion so that they don't lose their party. Like, it's not just the Liberals at this point. We would be going to war with the Canadian government. We have to be vigilant, and we have to do this carefully. And if you have Danielle saying, oh, look, we have laws that allow referendums, but I'm just working for a united Canada, how much better do you think that goes over with the federal government? They can't come after Danielle because she hasn't struck the match. ATLJ, $10 super chat. I'm working on a 2,000-year span timeline scenario compilation of the papacy's and crown's consecutive violations in a consecutive or a concatentative format. Sorry, I've never seen that word for public exhibition.
I don't know what any of that means.
Thank you for the super chat. I mean, anybody who's interested, keep your eyes open. 38 more likes for free memberships and a giveaway, don't forget, folks. A wandering civvy, 14 months. You guys notice I'm not screwing up on the super chats tonight or the reading? New monitor. We got new monitors in here, so that's why the camera looks a little higher tonight. No money for a super chat, but then she read the letter I wrote and shared with you. I got a handshake for telling him to stay in Candy Ass Lane by the cops. Wow. Thank you so much for being a member. Good on you. Good on you. I think we got them all. Did we get them all?
Yeah.
We got them all. Terry says, I want to get to some regular chats too. I don't want people thinking I'm ignoring them. What does anybody think about that mysterious money would pour into the fight of independence and install a Liberal government? I mean, there's a lot of outcomes.
And there's always a lot of moving parts, and it's not always who you think. Because the foreign interference that they talk about is not also the USA, but Russia, China, Korea, Iran. They all have a vested interest in seeing any Western nation just in chaos. They don't care if this guy wins or that guy wins. They're not like backing a candidate. They just want everything to be a mess all the time.
If the independence fails and the NDP get in, Alberta is done. They are. And it's
over.
And yeah, Carney won't have a government in 6 months. I hopefully agree. But we'll already be on the track to a referendum because, again, either APP's or Tommy's petition will go through and be verified, and we'll be headed to the polls in 2026 regardless. Danielle has already said we're getting that vote one way or another. Then she may make it illegal to talk separation too, censorship. They won't want it rearing its head ever again.
That's when we have to enact Boogaloo Protocol.
Yep. Google it. Danielle's a chess player, not checkers. Remember this. Let's give her the benefit of the doubt. And that's honestly one of the things I wanted to bring up because a lot of people, people got fevers.
Guess what? I got a fever. And the only prescription is more cowbell.
Randy, you're absolutely right, Fringe. We need to do this right the first time. We need to ensure that if we're going to do it, it won't fail.
Because it'll probably be the only time.
It'll be your only chance. That's why I've said it's a golden opportunity and it's a once-in-a-lifetime chance. If we fail, it's over. So let's make sure we don't fail. I'd rather be sure. I'd rather be prepared than do it recklessly right now. Let's go. Donald Trump will have the Northern Shield. He values legacy. You got to say quiet, piggy. You're not getting in. You're not taking it from us. Oh, guys.
8:25 Q&A time.
I think what we have to remember, folks, is that when it came to Pierre, a lot of people said, well, he's trying to get the vote in Toronto. He has to neglect the Western voters. He's already got their vote, you see. You got to let him try and get the votes of the people in Toronto and around the area and make City 1. I agree. You do have to let him get that, but that's part of the problem, and that's part of the reason we're never going to get out of this. People always said he's playing chess, not checkers. They knew they'd lost the election before Election Day. And I knew that when I went to the MP who forgot my name. And I'm going to say that because I do know his name, but my MP's office.
Oh, yeah.
Who asked me to come and get photos for him, but then forgot who I was. Look, what you have to remember, when I stood in his office, he said to me, basically they already knew they'd lost. And this was 3 days before the election. That the South Asian vote, Toronto vote wasn't going to work in their favor. They already knew this. It wasn't very hopeful. It wasn't very hopeful. Dane Lloyd, for anybody, yes, Dane Lloyd, for anybody who was curious. Dane Lloyd had told me 3 days before the election, yeah, it's not really, because I said, well, they keep saying supermajority and majority government. Yeah, he just says it doesn't matter. They don't care because they've all got their jobs. They'll get their pensions.
Yep.
This is why I gave up on federal politics.
Whether they win the election or they don't, their amount of money they make doesn't change. The perks, the offices, the cars, the chauffeurs, whatever it is they've got, doesn't change.
Where's the APP link for signing up? AlbertaProsperityProject.com. It's that easy.
.com.
Guys, get 20 more likes in here. Can we? I want to do a giveaway. We want free memberships. Let's go.
We need all of these.
Would Derek's suit match his shoes? God, why is everybody always after my shoes? I've got 7 pairs of those shoes in different styles. They are the most comfortable Pumas I ever worn in my life, and I got them at a wonderful deal. But they had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones. I had to buy those. They're cool shoes. Get off my back.
Yeah, I've been saying for years, I hate the way our parliamentary system works. I hate the seat system. It's screwed. We'll never get a fair shake. The elections are over every time before a single vote is count past the Ontario border. Nothing we can do will change that. Whether Pierre gets in or not, he still has to fight that system.
Carrie says, why does nobody speak of Pat King? I've talked about Pat King. There's nothing wrong with Pat. Yeah, he was huge in the convoy. We're at 7:53. Look at that, guys. You did it. You guys did it. Even Carson came through in spades. 20 unacceptable Fringe memberships to the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. That means we're doing a giveaway. Michael Cooper said they were going to lose a week before the election. Yeah, that too. I forgot about that. I mean, congratulations to the chat for getting those likes up there. You guys are amazing. You guys are great. Spin the wheel. We'll get there. We're doing a giveaway. Stick around for the rest of the stream. Thank you, Carson, for your generosity. Everybody
Carson's
tonight.
A beauty, man.
You guys have been great. Keep your eyes peeled Friday on the channel, too. I'm going to have a new shirt coming out for you guys for the holidays. Something new, a new design, maybe an Alberta Independence design. But I'm going to have something new. Usually every year I say that any shirt sales, super chats in December are going to go to a veterans charity. We like supporting our vets at Christmas, especially the ones who are left unattained, that don't get anything, that can't even put food in the fridge, that can't look after themselves. Our veterans, we owe a lot to, and the government ignores them. So
they are not asking for more than we can give.
Every merch sale from this Friday, every super chat, every membership, everything that comes into the channel, I am taking out of my own pockets, folks, to give to the veterans in need. Although I want to stipulate that the reason we normally aren't going to be pushing it as much as we usually are, I understand this year it's tough for people. I know that people are, many of them that watch this channel are in the same boat. They're very limited with the way the economy's gone and their jobs and everything else. So please don't feel obligated. We'll do a few giveaways during that time as well, because I don't want people feeling like I wanted to, but I can't, or I wanted to get a hoodie and I can't. Old Santa Fringe maybe has you covered. So keep your ears to the track on that. But everything going out from this Friday until Christmas will be donated. Well, the week of Christmas, I will donate to a local veterans charity. We do it every year, and I can't wait to get that moving again. Witsy is $5 super chat. Just talked with Catherine Kowalczyk. She's great. She is great. I've spoken to her a few times. She's amazing. She ran in Three Hills Olds in Alberta for, I believe it was for the Independent Party.
Oh, okay.
I know I got the party wrong. I've got her party wrong. Let's do Q&A.
Let's do it.
Do it. Do it live, as Thomas says. Let's do it live.
I love doing it live.
It is all theater.
Usually.
It is. Guys, get your questions in for Q&A.
Ask me something.
Are you ignoring Dutchy? Big donation.
No, we got.
Did Dutchy do another one?
Did he do another one?
Did he do another one? Because we got Dutchy's previous one. We got this one. And we got this one. I don't see anything else from Dutchy.
Yeah, no, we talked those.
Listen, I don't ignore Dutchy. I don't ignore anybody. There has been times where we've missed a super chat, but now with these large 32-inch monitors sitting in front of me, folks, I'm not missing nothing. It is still moving fast as we put some Cool Whip.
Cool Whip?
Oh, you want some Cool Whip?
You can't have a chat without Cool Whip.
Cool Whip. Why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
What?
What? Why? Say which? Which? Now say Cool Whip. Cool Whip. You're eating hair. Yeah, we got Dutchy. There, good. At least I didn't miss anything. Thank you again to Dutchy. You guys were great.
Dutchy's the man.
Were there any questions that I missed?
I don't know. It was moving fast while we were being weird.
How long do you think it'll take before shit hits the fan with independence? We need to separate now. I'm assuming you mean maybe as a country, or
has it not been hitting the fan for years?
Or the attacks on Danielle? I don't think it's going to take much time at all. I think we're going to see it really soon. If you wanted to go up to 11, I think the minute Danielle makes the announcement that one of those questions has been approved and we'll move forward on a referendum ballot, that's when you're really going to see the knives come out.
The minute it's on paper, shit's going to go down.
It's Mike. I really like what you just said, but I can't show that on the screen because I'd be inciting bad activities. Patrick, listen, I know you're thirsty for Lori. I'm not. Jeez, no.
I don't want to have to deal with her being wasted on the show.
Mrs. Fringe isn't here to look after her. I'm not.
We're not babysitting around here.
Is that Alex Jones?
Sometimes.
Sometimes
we don't like it when they put the chemicals in the water that turn the frickin' frogs gay.
Well, you saw my gay frogs the other day.
I saw Derek had gay frogs upstairs. I did not like it at all. Won't you fight for your life?
Please look at Veterans Affairs Food Bank. Maple Kitty's actually mentioned them a couple times. I am gonna do something along those lines. Maple Kitty, thank you for the super chat.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm skipping over. We're gonna miss. When are you chatting with wonderful Premier Danielle?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'm headed up to the legislature tomorrow. Again, I've had Danielle on the show a few times. I have spoken with her in private a few times. So full disclosure. But that doesn't mean I'm paid by the UCP. Somebody said that the other day. Oh, look, you're now backtracking and flip-flopping on Danielle. They must have cut you a check. How much are they paying you? They must have paid you and Jasmine Lane.
You're fucking holding out on me?
And that's what I said. I said,
paid, can I have some?
I said, listen, if what I gave on that video was Danielle paying for it, if she's going to pay me to give my honest opinion, tell me where I can get that money, because I would surely love a check from the UCP.
Get some of that government money back that we pay into.
She invited me over. She just said, hey, we've chatted a few times. You're a lot of fun. I love your channel. Bring your kids. Bring the wife. I want to meet you guys in person. We'll get some photos, hang out for a bit, and the kids can see her office. And I said, well, yeah, you care more about our kids than anybody else in this province, so absolutely we'll come see you. She's got bigger balls than anybody else in politics, so yeah, we're headed to her office tomorrow to hang out in the ledge. I can't wait. Jacob Rome's coming in as a new member of the Patriots Club. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody tonight.
Wait, you're getting paid?
He looks a little bit less red than Alex Jones.
Well, it's because I'm not screaming the whole time.
Wait, you're getting paid? Listen, everything I do on this channel is all me. It's all myself. I know people sometimes say, why do you have sponsors on the channel? Because YouTube censors me, and I want small businesses to have the opportunity, especially ones that I agree with. Which, by the way, if you guys saw the ad for Growing from the Ground Up today, go get your poultry, your dairy, your beef, all of it from them.
If they would ship it to me in Manitoba, I would order some.
They're fantastic.
Or if I had driven here instead of flown here, I would definitely be ordering some stuff to take back home with me.
Yeah, they're a great company. I only bring sponsors onto the channel that I agree with, that I like their product. But that's how we get paid. That's YouTube doesn't pay a lot. I don't know if people think we make it on YouTube.
Gerald, I can't do more live shows here because I don't live in Alberta. I'm a Manitoban. I broadcast live from an undisclosed location in the Interlake, Manitoba. But I just came out here for vacation with my daughter. We took our daughters to the mall today. We hung out, had a good time. But I will be here for Friday's show this week, and I will probably come back and do it in person again in the spring at some point.
We'll do more. We'll fly Matt out a couple times. Look, Matt and I have known each other since we were, 12? 11 years old. We met in grade school. We've been best friends ever since. And Matt taught me a lot about politics. I've evolved since then. My power level's over 9,000. For sure.
9,000?
There's a little Dragon Ball joke for you. And I wouldn't be here without his influence. So when it came time to get another host for the show, I've been listening to him talk about politics for years. I says, get on the show. Get on the Fringe. Let's do something together.
I've been ranting about politics for free for decades.
Now, Matt does have a child in Manitoba that he can't leave behind. There's a separation thing in there. And he stays with his kids, and kudos to that. Maybe at one point, if we can convince his ex to move out to Alberta with the kids, then maybe we see you out here. But Matt will be in the studio a couple times a year. We'll arrange to have him here a few times a year. Whenever it serves right.
We'll do it live!
The next question is, how's Matt enjoying Alberta?
Well, it's not like I've never been here before. Like, I've come here all the time. But I love Alberta. It's a nice place. You can get the best of both worlds here, because I did live in the Lower Mainland in BC in the 90s. And, a lot of people ooh and ah about the mountains, but I do love me some prairie skies. But here, if you look to the right, you get prairie. You look to the left, you get mountains. It's good.
It's wonderful. It's really wonderful, folks. Casper asking, how do I get a membership? I have no idea about any of this. I just watched the podcast, would love to contribute. Never done before. So if you want to contribute, you can always go to buymeacoffee.com. The link is down below in the description. You can buy me a coffee on there. I get more than YouTube gives us. But if you want to join the channel in the Patriots Club, it does get you into our once a month draws that we do for members. Again, we do a merch giveaway, any item from our shop. You just go down below where you hit subscribe. There should be a button that says join. If you click the join button, you can become a member. It does support the channel beyond what YouTube pays us for our videos, which again isn't much. But we give it back. We do a draw once a month for one item from the shop. So either buy me a coffee or hit the join button. If there isn't a join button, it might be your device. I know some devices, I think Apple devices or something, you can't, or a tablet or something along those lines, you can't hit the join button sometimes. But that's how you do it. RGW says, take some lollipops with you tomorrow for Danielle. I'll take a whole bag of lollipops and tell you give me Donald Trump's number, or I'm going to need to give you these lollipops and tell you to feel better. Oh my God. Please, hoodie. You've got to make one that says Mrs. Fringe, because we're all Mrs. Fringes at all.
We're all
Mrs. Fringes. Maybe we do one that goes future Mrs. Fringe or something. Maybe we do something like that. We'll do
the Fringettes.
The Fringettes. We'll do Mrs. Fringe and the Fringettes. I don't know. We'll find something.
We'll come up with a catchphrase.
Future Mrs. Fringe. That's what we'll do. Something like that. F-35 or gripe on fighter jets?
The F-35 is made by Americans. It's very expensive to buy, very expensive to operate. The Gripen is not as capable. It's cheaper to buy, cheaper to operate. It's a win-win for the talking point for the Trump derangement syndrome people to say, oh, we're going to buy these things from over here. We're not dealing with the United States because Orange Man bad.
Does NDP stand for New Dictatorship Party? No, it stands for Nasty Dumb People.
Yeah.
It's do you think Danielle is waiting for APP's question to be okayed? I think it's more than that. I think, look, she can take Tom Lukaszik's. Keep in mind they have to verify the signatures. Once they verify the signatures, they can use his petition and formulate a constitutional question from that out of his, do you agree that Alberta should remain in Canada? Or they could wait for APPs. And again, I've said that APPs could be very beneficial because, again, when we talked about the numbers earlier, when we talked about that 50% of Albertans, it would be interesting to see how many signatures they garner versus what Tom Lukaszik got. Again, for our data, for those who don't get all, because we don't trust the polls, we don't listen to Angus Reid or Abacus. I understand that, again, some politicians have ways of getting numbers from those institutions that matter, but I never take those polls seriously. So it'd be good to see a true poll of how many Albertans stand.
I don't know how many can take any poll seriously because they're constantly wrong. It's like believing the weatherman.
It's insane. I'll be ordering that food, especially because our grocers now may be selling unmarked cloned meat. That's scary. We didn't get into that. We were going to talk about that tonight before we were talking about grilling our tomahawks. I went all out while Matt was here, and we got some tomahawk steaks from the butcher because he knows the Fringe and says, here, I'm going to give you a deal, or else we couldn't afford it. But they, I'll tell you, I'm not looking forward to that. Keep in mind, they don't have any studies to show that all the birth defects that comes through that stuff, that it's not dangerous for us to consume.
Also, I always find it odd. I mean, everything, you just follow the money. But you can look this up because we don't have it queued up. But Brookfield just bought 2 years ago 49% stake in the third largest beef cloning company in the world. And all of a sudden we get cloned unmarked meat in Canada.
Scary.
Sus.
Very sus. You look like a Manitoban. What does a Manitoban look like? Like if there were a Manitoban in a dictionary, he would look like you, except you aren't wearing a Pearl Jam hoodie.
Me.
I grew up in Winnipeg.
Theoretically, we're both Manitobans.
We're both technically Manitoban. I mean, look, I've been in Alberta longer than I was. I only lived it. So when I was born, my parents, I was adopted, but my parents lived in Manitoba when they got married. They signed up for adoption. My father was transferred out to Alberta. So they were luckily still allowed to remain on the list, that when they were called that, hey, God's gift just arrived on the planet, they hopped on a jet and brought me back to Alberta. So I lived in Alberta till I was 5. My father's company transferred him out to Manitoba when I was 5 years old. And I only lived there for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then came back. So I've been in Alberta most of my life, but I consider myself Manitoban. Go Jets. All the good things that happen in my life happen mostly in Manitoba, aside from my wife and kids. But I'll tell you, I don't know what an Albertan looks like. That's kind of weird. It's a little weird you do that there.
Starting for...
We got Jaco becoming a new member. If not, there we go. I just did it again. Marianne Drinkwater, $5 super chat. Did you watch the Nadine parody interview saying something about a made in Alberta problem with the referendum question? Maybe you could explain. So about Bruce Party. Yes, and I want to do a video on that because I'm not sure, Marianne, if it was... somebody had it in the comments, and I thought I answered it, about the error that was made in what Bruce Party said. I will talk about that in a video. It's kind of how you look at the question about how everything is put together, because a lot of people say, well, it's in the Constitution, you can't leave anyways because Bruce Party said so. No, he's not the be-all, end-all.
That is not the bottom line.
And for anybody, before I get into that video and show the facts as to why some of those statements were incorrect, and I will put that video out, folks, again, it's coming. There's just so many things in the list to be done for videos. What I will tell you is Bruce he's great. I love what he talks about. I don't want to badmouth him. But when you look at Keith Wilson, when you look at Jeff Rath, constitutional lawyers that understand the full extent of the law, how it works, and people saying, well, this law says you can't. They wouldn't be garnering signatures. They wouldn't be getting APP together. They wouldn't be talking about independence now if we couldn't leave, if we couldn't get a vote. They have much better things to do with their time. I can tell you of how difficult it was to get Keith on the channel. They wouldn't be wasting their time with independence if it wasn't possible. So I will get a video out on that. Keep your ears on the track on that. Thank you for asking, and thank you for the super chat.
Only 12 and a half.
Jody Peterson, Matt is only a 12.5-hour drive from Spruce Portage. It can be done in 11.
I'm also another hour and a half further than Portage.
From there.
I'm up north in the Interlake. So
yeah, so it's a bit of a stretch.
It's a bit of a stretch.
But the Fringe doesn't mind bringing Matt out here once in a while.
I am going to drive when I come in the spring.
Jacob with a $10 super chat. Hey, Fringe, I work and live in the GP area. I'm very open about Alberta independence in public, and at work, I'd say 99% of the people I talk to about independence are ready to sign the referendum in GTFO. I'm glad. But what you have to watch on that, the people that aren't ready, when I say that there's an undecided amount of people, that 50%, it's mostly Calgary, Edmonton.
Also, I would assume that just from your truck picture that you work in some sort of blue-collar industry.
Yeah.
You'll find a lot of, like, I'm a blue-collar guy. I'm a flooring installer contractor. I work on job sites all the time. People with our, we'll call it political leanings, are very prevalent in trades and other blue-collar work. But you go and walk into any office building, because I do a lot of work in office buildings, and I overhear the conversations of all the middle-aged ladies around the water cooler, and it's like they live on a different planet.
Yeah.
And their vote is just as much as you or I, whether
everybody
they're
gets
about it or
one
not.
vote. Everybody gets one vote. That's what I'm saying. My old man always told me, and I've said it here on the stream before, and I fell victim to it this week. If you're buying a house, you're buying a car, like, it all looks shiny and new. It's always nice to say, oh, I want that. But he always told me in business, take the emotion out of it. It has to make sense financially for you to do those things. And it has to line up with what's important to you. But take the emotion out of it, and you won't be steered wrong. I say the same thing in politics. Yes, we want to get rid of the Liberals. Yes, we want independence. Yes, we want a better life. We want no taxes. We want no involvement of the federal government. I want it as bad as you guys do. But we got to take the emotion out of it. Because when you look at what they're saying with CSIS, when you look at what happened this weekend alone, how many people were ready to walk away from Danielle or told me that their faith in her had diminished because she didn't, bite back with her threat. We're going to see a lot more coming out from the federal government, a lot more from the NDP, a lot more from those who don't want Alberta to get the vote in general. They don't want the golden goose to leave. We need to take the emotion out of it. In fact, if you ever see me getting emotionally involved with that again, smack me in the chat and say, hey, Fringe, take the emotion out of it. We have to. We have to look at it strategically or we're going to lose.
Of course, sometimes you have to smack the deck.
Sometimes. Doug Watson becoming a new member. Thank you so much. Mr. Biggs, $5 super chat. NDP stands for normalizing disgusting perps. Yeah, that works. Casper becoming a new member. You found the member button. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming out. Should we get to a giveaway?
Spin the wheel.
Those tomahawks ain't going to cook themselves, but God, I'm ready to go.
Yeah. It's a 45-minute cook time.
My dad always said never be all show and no dough. I live by that. I agree with that again with Danielle's. And I said it. You don't make a threat if you're not going to back it up.
My dad says, I will own things and be angry.
Grab me $100 clone steak. These aren't clone, thank goodness. At least
fucking thank you.
I trust my butcher. It's let's get a giveaway going. I'll wheel the fortuitous go round and round.
I'm here to verify this time that it's not a scam. I'll be able to see the wheel.
You'll be able to see the wheel. It's going right now. What do we got here? Elizabeth DeRitt, D-A-Y-R-I-T. Is Elizabeth DeRitt still in the chat?
Say it.
Is Elizabeth still in the chat? Where's Elizabeth? Is she still in the chat?
Oh, Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, are you still in the chat? Elizabeth DeRitt. Is she still here? OAO found her with an @ so hopefully that means she's still here. She chimes into the chat. There she is. Elizabeth, congratulations. You have just won yourself one of the Fingers Up F. Carney calendars for 2026. collaborated by the very brilliant Unacceptable Fringe, 7-time best-selling author. If you guys are looking for Christmas gifts, don't forget the links below in the description. Head over to Amazon and grab any one of my best-selling books.
They're hilarious.
They're great. Your family's going to love them. Even if you just want to trigger off lefties that come over to your house, they're fabulous.
Just put them out on your table when your liberal aunts and uncles are coming over.
250,000 people. Can't be wrong, folks. Don't forget to go pick them up. Elizabeth, congratulations. Make sure to send me an email. Unacceptable Fringe YT. Did I spell that right? It's different when Mrs. Fringe is here because she's got all the typing skills.
You should have a macro for that.
I should have a macro
copy
for that.
pasta.
We'll unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. So unacceptablefringeyt is in YouTube. Unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com. Send me your shipping information and I will get that calendar sent out to you as soon as possible. Make sure you send that email within 24 hours. A little different that your profile has your name on it, so at least I can verify who you are. Send me that email within 24 hours. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to take my time to quickly thank everybody who sent in a super chat tonight, became a member, who were chatting just regularly in the chat, watching the stream, giving those thumbs up. You guys are amazing. I always love chatting with you. Great to have Matt in the studio this week. Again, he'll be here Friday with Lori and no Mrs. Fringe. I'm going to be depressed. I'm going to be depressed. I don't like being without my Mrs. Fringe. Can't go without her. I always tell her, Matt was my best friend until I met her.
Aw.
And now she's my best friend for life. And Matt, well, you're a close second.
That's magic.
Go have a lollipop if you don't like it. I'm sorry.
Come.
You're going to enjoy your steaks. Do you know how long it's going to take to cook those tomahawks? I'm going to be up till midnight.
I got to fire that barbecue right now.
Enjoy your evening. Keep your stick on the ice. Keep safe. Take the emotion out of things, folks. Show your support for Danielle. I'll be talking about that soon. From myself, from Matt, from everybody at Unacceptable Fringe. Have a great night, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.